Substance abuse in South Africa is running rampant at the moment. They reckon at the moment over 5 million people are struggling with various kinds of substance abuse, mainly relating to drugs and alcohol. Now, Andrew Sullivan joins us. He is a recovering addict. He has been sober for 18 months now, and he has written a book to help specifically people suffering from addiction in that first year, which I would imagine is a very difficult first stage. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for this offering as well, man.
No worries at all. Thank you for having me.
Andrew, I think it was a crazy journey in your life, and you're still there where you're telling the story. Why write a book about it? Addiction is normally something you would want to hide from people. You don't want to speak out about it.
When I entered into recovery, I was one of the fortunate ones that was able to go through a treatment centre when I came into and found recovery for the first time. And when I did that, I found that my mind was a mess. I mean, I'd hit rock bottom. You know, we'll speak, I think, about that in a second. But I found that writing, whilst in that early part of that journey, helped me take all the chaos out of my head, put it down on a bit of paper and make some semblance of order out of it. I was hit with a torrent of information from some brilliant people within the treatment centre. And I was able to, when I wrote about it, it made sense. And as I went through the year, I left the treatment centre, I started up a blog for family and friends, but more really for me to try and make sense of what I was learning on a daily basis in sobriety. And when I got to the end of my first year, I looked back over those blogs and I looked back over the journey that I'd been on, and I thought I've learned so much from so many people in this program that I've now entered into. I'd learned so much about myself, and I'd written about it, and I wanted to, I sent it to a couple of people. I didn't think anybody would want to read it, and a couple of editors got hold of it. My partner in the UK, Christopher Young, he's an editor and an author. He put it together, and yeah, we've got a book now, which is fantastic.
It's a universal truth. I think we can't get away from the fact that every family out there is affected in some way by addiction. Was there a tipping point? Was there that one moment where you just had to pick yourself up? Was it a person? What was the turning point?
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about it. When I came into recovery, I was still adamant that I wasn't an addict. You know, that was something which I fought really up until the day that I walked into the treatment centre and I met other fellow addicts who, for many years, I thought I was on my own. And my tipping point came actually with an incident that happened in Plettenberg Bay. I promised my ex-wife and my daughters, who I'd moved over to see there, that I would behave myself and I would toe the line. And I just couldn't do it on my own. It was I always had a compulsion and an obsession to go and cause chaos, and that's what I did. And I'd run out of chances, basically, you know, and unbelievably, I was given an opportunity to, on the morning I got into a huge fight in the local bar in Plettenberg Bay. It's a small town, word got out very, very quickly. I had nowhere else to turn, you know, I'd been in this sort of spiraling out of control for about, well, a good number of years.
How long have you been an addict?
I would say I've always been an addict.
So your eldest daughter's 14 now. Is this the first time she's seen you sober?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there was the odd day during our time. In the last 18 months, it's just been incredible. I can't tell you how great it's been. Well, and I can't forget my youngest daughter, Molly, as well. I've got to mention her as well.
You got your mention.
I've got
man. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to continue chatting with you.
Brilliant.
I think people, there are a lot of South Africans, especially, that need to hear this, but hopefully this is a global success. But thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Right, well, now on to a very important campaign that I think every single South African, in fact, the entire globe, should be taking note of as well. Gents?